Welcome to the Knowledge Entrepreneurs Show, where we celebrate the innovators driving change in the education industry. At Edison OS, we've worked with over 500 knowledge entrepreneurs to turn their EdTech ideas into profitable businesses. Hi, Srishti. Good afternoon. Welcome to the Knowledge Entrepreneur Show. Thank you so much for taking your time out for this.
Calling me here, and I would be more than happy to express my story in front of everyone and all the audience that we have.
Great. Yours is going to be a unique one because you just graduated last year and you started doing Questta Learning even while you were studying. So that makes it for a very interesting story. So, but anyway, before we jump into that, growing up, were you always clear that you wanted to be an entrepreneur, or did you have your mother or your father talking about what you need to get into a job and stuff like that? So what was it growing up like?
So, while I was in school, that is
Mm-hmm.
in 10th standard or something. So, in 10th standard, people, their parents and students, teachers, everyone is, forcing everyone to go and take that science stream because it has the most potential. You can go and become the future engineers and everything.
Right.
So, in the herd mentality, I would say I just went into the science stream and I was preparing for the joint entrance examination. Then, when I got selected there, I got a good rank over there. I went into an engineering college. So, it was not that I really wanted to do that. It was just because everyone else was doing it and because everyone else suggested me that this has the most potential.
Mm.
So I went up there and I was doing my engineering, but I did not have a lot of, my heart and soul into what I was doing.
Right.
I
Right.
did not, I actually did not like it a lot.
Uh-huh.
And I was feeling kind of lost, like what I would be doing after this. The future plans of all the engineers, like mostly I would say, is to get a good tech job,
Right.
become the software engineers and everything. I was trying to catch up with the crowd, but I could not really, feel what I was doing.
Right.
So I had to find some other way where I could just, uh, like what I'm doing. And engineering was not what I
Right.
liked. So,
Okay. And you realized that after you got into engineering.
yeah, because before getting into it, everyone was promising that this is the most promising way you can go for
Right.
your career and everything.
Right. Great.
And while during my college, we had those two waves of COVID. So where
Mm.
we had
Right.
to sit down at home and the
Oh
activities
yeah. Right. Right.
the
Right.
activities that we were doing were very minimalistic. We were sticking to only some basic activities that were possible doing at home. All
Correct.
the virtual world was open and everything. So I was inclined towards content and I liked writing content from a
Okay.
very early age when I was very small. So,
Okay.
but growing up and everything, that thing, gets shut down and everything. Everyone just, covers that up. Ki, no, you have to go into some tech thing,
Right.
you are so intelligent, you have to do science and everything. So that the creative content part of me got really um suppressed, and no one actually recognized it, not even me. So
Right.
when I got this free time in while sitting at home during the COVID waves, I applied for an internship. It was not a very
Hmm.
big one, but I was working there as a content subject matter expert. So what we had
Mm-hmm.
to do was we had to develop content for JEE's joint
Right.
entrance examination, which I had recently given
Right.
um, at that time.
Right.
So I thought that yeah, content is also my thing, and this I have a lot of knowledge about this examination also, so I should get into this.
Right.
So I started doing that internship, and within 2 months, I guess I could feel that there are some problems with the content that is being developed in the industry. That is how I got into edtech first of all.
Okay.
Before that, I did not know anything about edtech and any like what is happening in that field or anything. I did not know. But while I was interning over in a company, I don't think that company is still working right now,
Mm-hmm.
because I have stopped hearing about it, and I used to follow it, but now there's nothing that comes up for it. So I
Okay.
guess it has shut down now. But there were some major problems that were there that I actually observed as an intern.
Okay.
So while you are in an organization, you also make friends, or you have co-workers and everything, so you discuss things.
Correct.
So one of the major problems that was there was that um, the content that has to be developed is
Mm-hmm.
being outsourced to the company, and then these companies further outsource the content to even smaller vendors, you
Right.
know. And in that procedure, the margin gets cut. The
Right.
actual person who is making the content gets paid very less for it,
Correct.
and since he or she is getting paid very less, the quality of content actually degrades. So this was a very big
Right.
problem that I thought was there. And like, even though they had such good budgets, they had such good paying capacities, but due to this hierarchy or due to this chain, all of the resources were going into vain, and the actual content that was developed was not so good. Also, that the content creators who were actually putting their heart and soul, and they were actually working very hard to make it, were not happy with it.
Right.
They were, I guess, some of them were doing it because they had some financial issues
Right.
or something, but they were not happy with it. And that could also be, determined by the content quality that was there.
Right.
So this major problem that I observed and I encountered over there, gave me a huge push to start what I started.
Right. Right. Got it.
Yeah.
So you did this during your second, third year of
Yeah.
your college? Okay, got it. And when you say you were developing content for JEE, right? Was it
Yeah.
what sort of content are you talking about? Is it questions, practice papers?
Yeah. Exactly. So when a student is preparing for a competitive exam such as join JE, it's like it's crazy exam. And 10
Yeah,
lakhs
yeah,
of
it is a crazy
people
exam.
are 10 lakhs of students are giving that examination. Everyone wants to be in the top 50,000, top 10,000, and the rush is actually crazy. So when
Right.
one prepares for it, he or she does not just stick to the lectures that he or she is getting, or just the coaching, I would say, or just the help that he or she is taking online,
Mm-hmm.
offline, but they also go to multiple other sources, you
Right.
know. So they go for doubt solving, they go out and clear out their they practice papers, they give online tests, they take test
Right.
series and everything.
Right.
So now the offline centers are the major coaching centers that we have established in
Right.
India. And apart from that, they would also require some online help,
Right.
which would be there with them 24/7. So for that, they would go on to edtech platforms such as Vedantu, then they would go up to PW, and so on. I can name a lot, but
Correct.
yeah, there are plenty of online platforms, online edtech platforms they can go and they can refer to for their preparation.
Right.
Now, the content that I'm talking about is basically textbook solutions, because there are a lot of textbooks for this particular exam. And not just talking about this particular exam, there are a lot of competitive exams that students are preparing for and they need help for, like, UPSC, CAT, NEET. There are a lot of exams.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
when they are preparing for it, they go online and they go online for resources. The resources are basically textbook solutions, because all the solutions cannot be printed out.
Right.
And then there are video solutions. Sometimes the text solution that you are reading is not
Right.
so helpful. So
Right.
they would go on to video solutions where the educator would be explaining to them everything.
Right.
Then there are doubt solving platforms where you can instantly post your doubt and you can get an answer for that.
Right.
And then there are also those what do you call that, test series, paid test series that you can give. And there you can, determine the level of your preparation and everything. So all those come under the content that we are creating. And
Got it.
there is a lot more, like the articles that you're reading about any topic over the internet. If you need some more help, you want to get an in-depth knowledge, you would just go and search for it. But then you would get some ranked websites where you would get the best of it. So that is
Right.
that is the content that we are creating.
Got it. Got it, Srishti. Srishti, going back to the time when you got into interning, because you were creating content from a young age and you thought you could do that because you were sitting at home anyway, right? How did you go about? How easy was it to get this job, or what are the processes that you followed? Did you just go to LinkedIn and you got it, or through referral? How is that all about? This is for engineering students who are probably listening to you and who might want to get a job like that.
Okay. So the first step that I did was I had to go to Google and to search the internship portals that are there.
Right. Right.
So one of the promising ones, or I would say it is quite good, is Internshala.
Right.
And people can actually go over there and look for internships, because
Right.
the I felt that that is the best one I could get.
Mm-hmm.
And in terms of exploration also, I tried to explore a few others. I don't remember their names right now. I tried to explore them also, but I could not, like, Internshala was much better than all of
Got
the
it.
others.
Got it.
So over there you can just filter out your requirements according to your skills, what you're looking for actually.
Right.
Then you can apply to those internships, and the recruiter or anyone who is responsible, the HR, would
Mm-hmm.
be contacting you via various sources.
Got it. Got it. And you wanted to do that not for money, or you wanted to do it for money?
See, the basic reason that I wanted to do it was because I was at home,
Mhm.
and I did not want to. I'm sorry to. I don't mean to offend anyone, but yes, most of the people who were sitting down in during COVID were binge watching web series, and I did
Right.
not want to do that. I really wanted to do something productive that I could, I can use my brains into, and I did not want to waste time. So that is why
Right.
I went to some other vertical. I could have been, coding and doing, the basic
Correct.
engineering stuff.
Yeah.
I could have been doing it, but I wanted a break from that too, and I wanted to do something that uses my brains.
Right.
So I went on to content, because that is the next most dear thing to me,
Got
and
it.
I thought that I can do it.
Got it. And Srishti, you said you found out a lot of problems while you were working for this company, right? You told that they get their order or requirement from somebody, and then they further outsource it. They don't
Yeah.
have, and because of which the margins come down, and then the eventual content writer gets paid very less. How did you figure out all these things?
So
Um,
while I was working, um, you have a team in which you are working, and then
right.
you have managers, and then you have QC heads. That is pretty much the structure of my company also right now. But yeah, it is different because we did not want to do the same thing. So now it depends on the person. Sometimes you get good managers, sometimes you get bad managers. And I was
Right.
lucky enough to get a good manager.
Okay.
And that is how I got to know all this, because most of the interns who were working were quite not happy with the pay that they were getting,
Okay.
and
What's
they
the pay
felt,
uh, that these guys were paying? Was it per question,
yeah, per
or was
question.
it per question? Okay.
Yeah.
And what
So
was the
it would
per?
be depending on the competitive exam that you're preparing for. For example,
Okay.
if you're preparing for JEE, it would be different. If you're preparing for UPSC, it would be different. Also, it would differ on the difficulty level of the question.
Difficulty level.
Okay, so for, I would say, medium question, at that time they were paying around 20 to 30 rupees per question.
Oh my God. Okay. That's for JE.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. That's pretty crazy. Okay.
And now
So
I
what was
think
the highest one could get for one question?
that was for the difficult question, and that I guess was 50 or something. 50 rupees per question.
Wow. Okay. 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 Cool.
So now you can understand what the problem was.
Yeah. I can understand. And were you creating questions for exams like IELTS, GRE, GMAT also?
No, the company might be doing it. I don't have any idea about it.
Oh, you did not. Okay.
I, as an intern, was preparing content for JE.
Got
So
it.
I got to know about that, and it was quite crazy to get all this information and see what is actually happening, because the
Okay, but one thing, sorry to interrupt. You said, you're getting paid, let's say 50 rupees for the difficult question, the most advanced question in JEE.
hmm,
Did you find out how much were they getting paid from the...
no, I did not find that out. I could not
Oh,
find
okay.
that out, but yeah, definitely the type of conversation I had and the like, it is sometimes you don't need to say a lot of things, but a lot of things can be expressed by few words only. So it was
Correct.
that scenario,
Right.
and I could not believe that this is happening. And see, the main reason why they were outsourcing actually, is because handling huge teams is a lot of hassle.
Yeah, correct.
And especially handling a huge team of individuals, like for example right now in a project that Questta Learning is uh, doing, we have over 70 subject matter experts working
Wow, okay.
for one subject or for one
Okay,
project.
right.
So now you can understand managing those 70 subject matter experts or the content creators that we have is a hassle, and it is not an easy job to be done.
Yeah,
And that is what I'm talking about, one
right.
project. When we have multiple projects, the numbers increase gradually,
Yeah,
exponentially the numbers increase, and that is a very difficult task for one organization to do. So that is why they try to outsource it and make their jobs easy.
right.
But since I started this with the motive of not doing this, so I created a system where we could manage all this and we can get the work done smoothly with this.
Right. Got it, Srishti. So, Srishti, you joined, you started this for your own thing, you wanted to use your time in a
I did
different
not
way.
want to waste my time.
Yeah. Uh, I wouldn't want to use the word waste. I'd rather say you wanted to use your time differently,
Huh.
and you did this. But when did you, decide that you're going to do this on your own as a full-fledged business? And how did um, uh, you know uh, Questa Learning? How did it come to be?
Okay. So there were a few people. As I told you, we were a team. We were working as a team, and 90% of the content creators over there were not happy with what they were doing. But also, they did not want to get deep into the waters. They did not want to do it. They were clear that they don't want to do it for a long term, because they do not have a long term vision for it.
Right,
They were just doing it for, I guess, their financial issues or some other reasons that they might be having,
right,
but it was not a long term goal for them.
right,
Okay, so uh, there were around, I guess, 25 people, including me, who were there and who decided upon that this would not work. And then I stood up and I was like, if we can do it on our own, would you all support, and would you all uh, support in this cause, and act as a team and work together? So that was the main thing that started Questa Learning.
right.
Since we had a team, we had an experienced team who was already working, but they were not happy with what they were doing.
Okay,
That is why we went ahead, and since nobody else also wanted to get into deep waters, but then I had that I would say that I had that enthusiasm or something to, go up front and act and pitch the clients with the
Great.
work and everything. So that is how it started.
Got it. And how many co-founders? Are you the only
None.
founder?
I'm the only.
Wow, so you're the CEO, founder of Questta Learning. Great,
Yeah.
great, awesome. And you started off with these 25 people, as your team, and
Huh.
you were the only one, who got in projects.
Hmm.
Now, it's very easy. It's easier said than done, but getting one project is no jokes, let alone multiple projects. So how you given that you were an engineering student who were just interning, how did you quickly shift from just being an employee to a person who could find projects?
That was a lot of work.
Yeah,
That
please
was
deep
a
dive
lot
into
of
that.
that was a lot of work. So you had to get contacts, you had to connect to a lot of people, and I would not be joking for even a second about it that I had headaches for multiple days in a row.
Oh, right, right,
Okay. So you would go on the professional platforms like LinkedIn. You would find those connections which are relevant to you. You would go up and pitch yourself over there. But of course, no one would, take you on the basis of your words, or, just by what you're saying. Your
right,
pitch is sometimes not uh, the only thing that can help you to get the project or get the client.
right,
So there were multiple revisions that had to be done in that pitch. There were multiple times that I felt that I should just stop doing it, and it's not working out anymore, or it is not working out, and I should not be wasting my time over here. I am an engineering student. I should be focusing on my coding and everything, and I should get
right,
a good job. But then I don't know what drove me inside, and I did not want to just give up. Really, I did not want to give up, and I kept looking for more connections. I kept connecting to people and pitching them, cold emailing, everything. And that was a lot of work,
right,
because one is that you have to find the people who would be able to take this decision, the
right.
people who are responsible for outsourcing the content.
Correct.
Secondly, then you would go out and pitch to them.
Right,
When you would be pitching to them, it's not necessary that they would revert back to you, or they would even look at your pitch.
right,
Then you would make improvisations in your pitch,
right,
and so on and so forth. So this was a very, rigorous process, when you would go to step 1, 2, 3, and then you would go to step 1 again, and then you would start from there. And
yeah,
there are some, I would say, good clients that we got, who believed in what we had to offer them, and they gave us the projects. And when we did good in that, we had those testimonials that we could
right,
use,
right, right.
and then gradually that is how it happens. But getting the first client is the most difficult job to be done.
How did you get your first client? And who was it? I mean, can you deep dive into that?
So it was difficult, actually. It was, I would not take the name of the company, because
Sure.
we have the we
NDA
can
sign.
yeah, NDA signed.
Got it. Got it.
So I was pitching around 7 to 10 companies, or all together at the same time.
At the same time,
And
right?
yeah, and waiting for a response and waiting for a response. um, I learned how to copyright. I learned how to make those pitches, how to make those scripts, how to how to do cold emailing and everything. So it was through that, and I would call, I don't know what I should call it, but yeah, they were like, you okay, you can, we are giving you the sample task. Based on this task, we'll decide further if we'd work or not.
Right,
So they gave us that sample task. We did that set of tasks that was given to us, the content, the sample content that has to be developed.
right.
We made that content, we submitted it, and it got actually approved with a 99% approval rate.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Okay. So that was like, that is where we actually got to know what our actual potential is, that we are making good content, we are really good at that. It's just that we need to show it to everyone that yes, we are making really good content,
Right.
because everyone would not give you a chance like that.
Right.
The first client gave us a chance, and he was also very happy with it,
Mm-hmm.
with the content that we were making. Then came down to production and everything.
Right.
Now the content that has to be that has to be developed is in bulk.
Right.
It's in large quantities, like lakhs, thousands and lakhs of questions. So that was also a challenge, that I would say, because we were not outsourcing the content again.
Yeah.
We were making it on our own. We were finding the right interns. We were actually trying to figure out which person is creating good content, which is not, making a whole setup, making a whole system to get the work done smoothly and on time, with without
Right.
getting the quality compromised.
Right.
So after that, but after the first project taught us a lot of things about handling the deadlines, getting good interns, getting people who are good at their work, segregating them, how, which one is good, which one is not, and managing the whole team. The first and the second project taught us a lot of things, and after that it was like a system that we created, and
Right.
we were following the same principles of it.
Got it. And after you landed your first client, did you, from the second pitch onwards, did you start using the testimonial of the first client? Is
Yeah.
that how you cracked the other
Yes,
clients?
yes. That is
Okay.
how it was done, because now we had something in hand that we could show to others
Right.
as a form of credibility.
Right.
Because and that is actually totally all right, I would say.
Right.
Sometimes people would think that why someone is not giving us a chance, even if we are new in the industry, why someone is not at least giving us one chance to show our service or our product.
Right.
But the point is that your client is also having a lot of things to do, and also they don't want to test you and waste their time. Sometimes they would actually require some solid proof or some solid references to actually
Right.
believe in you when you are especially new.
Correct.
After you have been established and after you have shown your work and you are completely established in the industry, it is fine. But when you are new, it is also very difficult for the client, and I never felt bad about it, that why is someone not responding to my emails, because I think that that is totally fine.
Right.
Someone would take it would require some credibility
Hmm.
to trust a new uh, person to outsource to, a new company especially.
Yeah. Sure. And when your first content was approved with a 99% approval rate,
Hmm.
next comes payment discussions,
Hmm.
payment terms. How did that go with your first client?
That was fine. That was good. With the first client, it was really good, and everything went smooth. There are some problems that others I have seen others facing this problem, that the payments would not be made on the set dates, or the cycles would not be followed properly. So in that case, it also causes a lot of chaos in the team, because
Right.
the we are not getting the payment from the client, so we are not in a position to pay you ahead. Sometimes the client even you know um, delays the quality checking process
Right.
due to their operational issues. But
Right.
in that case, we are not responsible for it, and it becomes quite difficult to make this thing understand to the interns who are working, and creates a chaotic environment.
Correct.
But and also I have seen this online, when people write about it or speak about it, that with this or this client, they had faced this issue, they had faced the payment issue and everything. And I can totally feel that this can be very chaotic. Now, when you are working with clients, it is also very very important to understand who is a good client and who is a bad client. You
Right.
cannot be working for all the clients all the time.
Right.
When you are starting up, you would take some time to differentiate and understand this. But uh, as you go deep into the market, you should be able to differentiate this, that who is a good client and who is a bad client. Because if you would work for bad clients, one is that your time and energy would get wasted. Second
Yeah.
is that your team's morale would go down,
Right.
which is very difficult to then boost up again, because the team has lost confidence. They have lost a sense of motivation also to keep working.
Right.
And in like, the team is the most important part of the company. If your team is not motivated enough to work, if they are not confident enough to work, how would you be able to run it? Especially in service based companies like Questta Learning and other service based companies, the team is the strength of the company.
Yeah. Yeah. Correct.
You haven't made a product and then you're selling the product. You are actually giving them um, real time services,
Yeah.
and the teams have to be confident and motivated in real time to keep working and keep giving their best. Because
Correct.
even if you have the best team but you have the wrong environment which has been set up by this, working with bad clients, the team would not work very well. And
Right.
also, like, it, the differentiating factors of good clients and bad clients would be that the style of communication, one, how they're communicating with you, and the frequency of communication tells a lot about it. Even before we get to the last step of payment cycles, the style of communication would make you understand a lot of things,
Right.
which you would be able to recognize in a blink of second.
Right.
If you have already worked with worked enough, and you have worked with 3 4 clients, and you have seen ki, acha, here this happens, here this happens, and all that. Okay, some clients are there who would just keep on pressurizing you and your team for no real reason. And later on, like, we would feel that the pressure is real, and
Okay.
that there are some real problems, and there are some problems that have to be handled. So in turn we would get pressurized, and the team would come under pressure, and later on we would discover that this was nothing, this was just something that they were creating.
Right.
So this is very unhealthy actually. Even if you're working for on a project for a few months, every project lasts for a few months, and 6 months or a year. Okay, but creating that kind of pressure, I don't think that is good for my team or for me. And
Right.
working in those pressurizing situations, and working in that style of communication, I would not take up those clients now. And now that we have identified who they are and what are their distinguishing factors, and the clients who would you know get the who would have these problems in the very beginning, would be the ones who would be creating other bigger problems, like delaying the payment cycles and everything. These are the clients who would bring up these problems also.
Got it.
So for any other young entrepreneur who is starting up, or anyone who is uh, in a service based company basically, who has started up this, I would highly recommend you to, in the early stages only, to differentiate between a good client and a bad client. Do not force yourself to work with the bad clients, because there are plenty of good clients in the industry, in your industry also. Do not get stuck up with the bad clients because you think that they are the only ones out there. Go out, search for the good ones also.
Got it. And these distinguishing factors come into picture only if you work with them for some time, right? Or even before onboarding them as a client, you are now able to distinguish, is it? Do you have a set
No,
questionnaire that help you identify the right clients or something?
There is no set questionnaire. Uh, yes, it would. You would be able to understand that only if you have worked for some amount
Some
of
some amount of
amount
time.
of time.
Right.
Like
Right.
the behavior that they portray, that talks a lot about them even
Right.
before they start talking about them.
Got it. Got it, Srishti. If you have to, say what are the top three red flags to watch out for in the early days with clients, what would those be?
So one of them would be the style of communication. If they are delaying communication
Okay.
from their own end, do not expect them to revert back to you at the right time.
Right. Okay. Okay.
Okay. Second one would be what kind of environment they are providing you at work.
Okay.
Understood that they are your client and that you would be actually saying yes to most of their terms and conditions, but
Right.
you just have to figure out, you have to see that all of their terms and conditions cannot be right. All of the times your client cannot be right. Sometimes you have to speak up for yourself that yes, we cannot uh, agree to this and we cannot do this way.
Right.
We have to figure out some other way to do this. Okay. Third is that the kind of payment structure that they mention in their contracts or in their every like other places, you just need to go. Also, one of my biggest advice to everyone would be to go through the contracts that they're signing very thoroughly. I know everyone would say that these are your legal documents, you are for sure supposed to go through them properly, but no. Even if it is not just about the legal things that I'm talking about, it is also about it the contract actually supports as a basis for how you are going to work. So you need to check it out, you need to read every line thrice
Right.
before just signing it and giving it off.
Right.
You need to see what is written over there, you need to see what you are expected to do, you need to see what they are promising you in
Right.
return.
Right.
So these would be the three things that I would recommend.
Got it. Got it, Srishti. Srishti, first client we spoke about, you were talking to about 7 companies at once, and then the first company got a 99% approval rating, payment cycles and all. But what about the pricing itself? um, did the who dictated the pricing term, like what's gonna be the price per question? Did the client offer you? How did you know it was the right thing? Did you do your market research?
Yeah, a lot of market research goes into it. You have to see what others, the content creators are expecting, one, because they are the ones who are creating content in the end of the day.
Okay.
Then you have to see what is you have a market research. You actually sit down for a couple of days and you see what is actually happening, what rates are being offered, or what prices are which your interns would be happy to work, and all that would come under proper market research. I can talk about it for hours, but then it would be of no use because every industry would have a different set of rules for market research, and they would have their different pointers on it. But yes, market research plays a big role on it. Then deciding the rates and everything, the client asks us for a price quotation,
Okay.
and after that there is a slight negotiation if required. Otherwise, the prices quoted by us are the prices that we work on.
Okay. You said in the beginning, you were paid for medium difficulty questions 20-30 rupees per question, and then for
Hmm.
the toughest ones 50. But what's a fair amount of money a content creator who's studying, who's working as an intern can expect for a question, a difficult question for JE, according to you?
A difficult question for JE can he or she can expect up to 70 to 90 rupees.
That's a fair ask, is it?
Yeah. That is
Okay.
what is fair pricing according to the market research also. And according to, see, there are also a lot of platforms where the content creators can themselves go and register themselves,
Right.
and they can start working on the platform only. So
Okay.
these are very limited companies, and one of them is Check, where
Check.
the
Right.
tutor can go and register himself
Okay.
and then start working on their platform only. So, but again, then there is another problem that uh, after the creator has made the content, okay, the set the set guidelines which have been given, sometimes he or she misses out on them, or he or she requires some guidance to work,
Right.
because it's not that they would start working properly on the guidelines on
Right.
their own. So they
Right.
would require proper trainings, they would require proper guidance, how they
Right.
have to work, what should be the tone, what should be the alignment, how, what is the actual requirement of the client. That is why this is one of the biggest reasons that there are not a lot of platforms that are offering the tutors to come and register themselves and make the content, because then the quality issues shoot up.
Right.
And we have a different team for content creators, we have a different team for quality check, and going through what they have created, getting the corrections done, then going through the content again, checking it again, and then finally submitting it to the client. So it's a cycle that goes on. The client on
Right.
their end also gets the content checked, and then they would pass it on. If it is approved, then they would just take it. If it is not approved, they would send it back to us for corrections. So
Right.
this is a rigorous cycle which has to be followed, and it requires actually a huge team and a huge system to
Right.
work.
Right.
And individuals may find it very challenging to go and work like that, because to our interns or the content creators, we are also providing with different resources, like trainings that we give, and
Okay.
the kind of guidance that we are providing at each step as to how they have to do it, the kind of feedback that we give from our own side, so that the next time the content that they create is better. So
Right.
all of these things come into consideration when you're making content, because content is actually a very big market at the moment,
Okay.
especially after everyone has went online
Right.
post COVID.
Right. Right. Right.
Before this pandemic, we were not so into the online stuff.
Right.
Now everyone is trying to do everything online.
Correct.
There is a major shift from offline to online that has come during this pandemic. So now all of the businesses are going online.
Right.
Earlier it was not that.
Right.
All of the students also are trying to manage their studies online only,
Right.
trying to do as much possible on the internet, so that they can be sitting down in the comfort of their homes, and then they can be also focusing on their studies, and preparing for their careers and everything. So this huge shift has also created a huge demand for content.
Got it. And Srishti, when you are talking about creating content for multiple companies, there comes this issue of plagiarism.
Hmm.
How much you copy, or how much you whatever, how much of it is original, right? And it can only
Hmm.
be there has to be a definition, right? So in your industry, in your domain, for the competitive exams that you're creating, what's the where is the line drawn as far as plagiarism is concerned? Say, for example, I'll give you an example. I was talking to another content creator who creates content for GMAT verbal. Okay, they say the thumb rule in the industry is that 5 words cannot be exactly the same, and that's how they check for plagiarism. How does it work in your domain?
So we have actually multiple plagiarism tools through which
Okay.
we can check. They are
Okay.
online tools available, some are free and some are through purchases.
Right.
Now one of them I can name is Grammarly.
Okay.
Grammarly also provides you with a lot of other help in your writing along with the plagiarism check.
Right.
Okay. So there you, and it is a very stable tool that is being used and trusted by a lot of members of the like a lot of people in the industry.
Okay.
Okay. So now when you are checking plagiarism on these tools, it definitely goes out and looks for the
Right.
same content over the internet. Now when we are using names of
Right.
some scientists or something, we are using some rules, we are stating some laws, like for example, matter can neither be created nor be
Correct.
destroyed. So now
Correct.
there are more than 5 words in a sentence which are the same, but
Correct.
we cannot change them because it is a law.
Correct.
We have
Correct.
to
Correct.
write it as it is.
It is as it is.
So
Yeah.
that is why there is a like a relaxation of 10% in plagiarism. If your
Mm.
plagiarism is 10% or less, then the content would be accepted. If it is more than that, then it would be sent back
Okay.
for
Okay.
revision.
Got it. Now, there could be, I don't know, there could be, questions which will involve nouns, names of people. So simply changing the names is not original, right?
No, no. In that case, also see if you mean the name of this major people like the scientists or the explorers, is that
No, no,
what
no,
you?
no, 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 no. No, 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 no. I'm talking about a problem. I don't know if these kind of problems are there. You use somebody's name, say for example, uh, you know, Dr. Sharma has so and so problem. This is in a problem. I'm saying, you use random
Okay,
names,
okay,
right?
okay, okay, okay. Yeah, so changing the name would not change the plagiarism. The
Exactly. Yeah,
plagiarism would be intact.
would still be intact,
Yeah.
right? Right. So, what? How do you deal? What is the advice or training that you give to your onboarding interns about plagiarism? How do they avoid plagiarism?
First of all, please do create your own content only. Don't go and look upon the internet and search for relevant things. You can just go and look up on the internet for if there is something that you don't know. If you're not sure about something, go look up on the internet, go look up in the books.
Hmm.
But then it is you are a content creator because you are creating your own content. If you would be copying and pasting from somewhere, or if you would be just directly putting the content from somewhere, why should we call you a content creator? So
Right.
we ask them to take inspiration from like trusted sources, like some trusted websites or the books that we read. You can take inspiration from that, you can take knowledge from that, but then it should be your own words that have to be there.
Right.
You
Right.
have to make it, you have to make your own content, and that is why you are given the designation of a content creator, right? Because you are creating original content.
Right. Right. Right.
And
Correct.
about the training and the guidance that you mentioned to the onboarding interns, we have very strict tolerance for negligent tolerance for plagiarism,
Okay. Right.
because that is one of the major things. If you are copying content, why would I call you a content creator?
Of course. Of course.
Right? You
Yeah.
are just trying to defame your own designation
Yeah. Yeah.
by
Correct.
doing that. So we
Correct.
have very negligent this thing, what do we call it, negligent
No tolerance. You have
tolerance
almost
for
zero
pleasure.
tolerance
Yeah,
policy
for
for as far
plagiarism.
as plagiarism is concerned.
So there are interns who have been fired then and there due to this plagiarism. We can't expect them to be copying content, because then the reputation also gets damaged.
Right. Right.
That is why we have so many checks of quality, and we have such a huge quality check team, so that this does not go out to the client, the plagiarized content. We cannot afford that.
Got it. What's the highest your intern make in a month? Who's like some approx numbers?
They can make as high as 50,000 to 70,000
Right. There are people who
per
make
month.
that much in a
Yeah,
month
yeah, yeah.
right now.
And it
Okay.
totally depends upon your capacity. See, the amount of time you can invest, and the amount of energy that you can invest into your work is totally dependent on you.
Right.
That is why you are being paid on performance.
Okay.
And there are people who would be getting paid like 15,000 also, but
Right.
then there are people who are being paid 50,000 to 70,000 also. That is totally dependent on
Got it.
you.
Got it, Srishti. What is the criterias that you check for when you are hiring people?
Okay. So one of them is their educational qualifications, one, what
Okay.
they are doing. And then we also ask for the amount of time that they can dedicate, any previous experience that they had in content creation. And these are some of the basic information that we ask for
Right.
in step 1 of the screening.
Right.
Step 2 would be giving them with a sample to create.
Okay.
This is the major deciding factor whether the intern would be working with us or not, because this is where he or she gets to show their ability.
Right.
Irrespective of their qualifications, then the sample task would outweigh the qualification. Suppose someone is a
Got it.
bachelor,
Hmm.
someone is has done BSc in mathematics, and
Okay.
someone is a PhD in mathematics, but the content of the bachelor student is much better than the PhD one.
Hmm.
So we would definitely be working ahead with the bachelor student only.
Got
The
it.
sample that they create and the work that they have portrayed matters a lot. So according to that, a lot of people get screened. Third task is depends upon, then we then we conduct a meeting, and in that meeting we
Right.
try to get to know more about the intern. That is you can call it a kind of an interview only.
Right.
Why they have opted to work with us,
Right.
what do they expect from us,
Right.
and the reasons behind them coming into content creation, and how long would they work, and so on and so forth. So these are some basic personal questions that we would ask in the interview and get to know more about the intern as a person, whether he or she would be fit for the company or not.
Got it. Got it, Srishti. And what's your organizational structure at the moment like? You're
The
the
organi-
you're the main person, of course. You're the founder,
yeah. So
and
then
yeah.
we have our HR team
Hmm.
who are looking into all the recruitments and everything. They are also looking into the training and all of the procedures that have to be followed for onboarding the intern.
Right.
Then we have our set of managers
Hmm.
who are working to manage the, because the teams are actually quite big. If you have a team of 70 to 100 people, you would actually require some kind of strategic approach to manage that. It is not easy to manage
Right.
70 to 100 people in a project. So
Right.
the managers are there who are managing all that. We sometimes we have one manager in a project. Sometimes we have to keep three also. So it depends on the content, the bulk of the content that we are creating.
Okay.
Then we have those team leads who are working under the managers, who would be specially focusing on their teams,
Right.
giving them a team of 10 to 15 interns. They would be managing that, and then the team of team leads would be managed by the manager, and the manager would also be looking into if any problem arises within the team.
Right.
Then we have a separate team for quality checking.
Okay.
So there we have appointed a quality check head for every project,
Okay.
and the other people responsible for quality checking would be working under him.
Got
Now
it.
all of these people have to work together.
Right.
If someone has created, like if person A, who is an intern, has
Hmm.
created a piece of content, that content goes to the quality check team. The quality check team finds some problem in it, so the person A and the quality check team has to communicate together, has to understand what the problem is, where it is arising, and then they would be resolving that together.
Got it. Got it, Srishti. And obviously, the interns who will be creating the actual content, they'll not be on your payroll as such because it depends on how much work they do. They are pretty much like freelancers. The
Yeah,
others, are they on your payroll, or how is
they
it?
are on
Is
payroll.
they're on payroll? Okay. And what are the um, uh, what are the criterias for the managers and the team leads? Now, I understand team leads should definitely have, hands-on experience in creating content, because otherwise they wouldn't know, certain things. What about the managers? Are these general project managers, or are they also subject matter experts? Or what are the criteria on which you hire these project managers?
The number one skill, or the first thing that has to be looked into for a project manager, is the kind of dedication that he or she has for work.
Right,
According to me, that is what I look into. See, everything else can be taught, everything else can be understood. If your the manager is actually the driver of the team, okay, if he or she is not motivated enough, if he or she is actually sitting down and wasting their time, and they are not up for work, then how would they be pushing the people below them to work?
right.
So that is what. And yes, most of them are general managers only,
Hmm.
general project managers. We would not expect any subject knowledge from them,
Right.
and we would not look into that kind of educational experience from them.
Got it.
The team leads, yes, they have to have some amount of, if not a lot, if not in depth, but some amount of subject knowledge on the project that they are working. So for example, if someone is working on a JE project, they have to
Right,
have
right,
that knowledge. If
right.
someone is working on a UPSC project, they have to have that knowledge.
Got it.
Because right now we are creating
So,
content for all the competitive examinations, like JE, NEET,
right.
UPSC, CAT, these government exams, the banks and everything, SSC, CGL, everything, that we are creating content for all of them. So we have to look into that. The team leads must have some kind of knowledge about this.
Got it. Srishti, I'm right now on your our clients page of the profile that you had shared, and I see some great names here. Okay, in India, I think a lot of them would know all these names.
Hmm.
And how did you go? I mean, is your first client part of this list that you have here?
Yeah,
There are seven of them here. Okay, I'm not going to mention names for whatever reason. I don't know. Let's keep it that way. But how
because
did
we
you?
have our set of NDAs signed,
Okay,
and we cannot be, neglecting them.
you can't. So part of the NDA says you cannot reveal their names in public. Is it
Hmm.
all of these people?
Yeah, mostly.
Great. And
That is what the meaning of the NDA is. It's a non-disclosure agreement, wherein you are promised that your information would not be disclosed, and they are asking you for a promise that you would not disclose their information.
okay, fine. No, I mean, I understand NDA. Now, say for example, you cannot disclose the content that you create for one client with anybody else, because it's only, in that way I understand. But I
And it's not just the content, there is a lot of information that gets exchanged while working.
got it. Now, isn't this, now you will be sharing this profile, right, to another client? Is that not breaching of NDA? Is that okay to put them on your portfolio? Is that taken care in the clause?
Yeah, that has been taken care, because as I told you, right, in the beginning, that we had given out our testimonial for
Right,
credibility.
right, 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 right.
Yeah.
Got it. Got it. So, finding subsequent clients after you found that first client, how difficult or easy has it been?
I would not call it very easy,
Okay.
but there is a lot of effort that has to be put into, uh, researching about that particular company that you're looking forward to work with, what kind of content they have already, what
Right.
kind of content that they might be looking up to creating, and all that. It requires some kind of research. Then again, you have to find the relevant people in the company, the client's company, and you have to pitch them again from
Got
the
it.
very beginning. So it's as I told you earlier also, it is a stepwise procedure, and it is a cycle only. You start from step 1, you come up to step 3, then you start from step 1 again, that is doing the research for the relevant people and then pitching them and everything.
Got it, Srishti. Now, Srishti, when it comes to business, as you said, I'm sure there is one product company, and then there is service product industry and service industry. Service industry obviously
Yeah,
has
yeah,
got
yeah.
its own challenges.
Hmm.
Um, how has building a service industry impacted you as an individual? What's the kind of evolution that you've undergone?
The biggest one is getting to know a lot of different kind of people. When you are working, a service
Right,
company is working with a lot of people at the same time. Every day you come up with a lot of challenges because you are working with a different kind of person every day.
right,
Okay, when you are, suppose you have a, I would give you a very small example.
yeah,
Let us suppose you have recruited an intern who you think is like other interns only. He's doing his PhD, and he would be working like other interns only, right? Would be dedicated to work, would be create submitting tasks on deadline and everything. So you would expect this kind of behavior because you have made him go through mm, a screening procedure that everyone else goes through.
right,
But then he comes up with his own set of problems
right,
that now you are supposed to resolve because you are his or her manager, or because you are leading him. Sometimes the problems can be sorted out at the
right,
managerial level. The managers can do it. The HR
right,
team then everything can be sorted out at that level. But sometimes the problem arises so and so that I have to personally go and handle it.
right, right, right,
Okay, because once you have recruited someone, just because they are the basic problem can be that they are not working properly. They are just
right,
delaying their work. They're just delaying the deadlines and everything, and just not working properly enough. So every individual has their set of reasons. Every individual comes with their set of excuses. Now this is about the interns or the employees that we are recruiting.
right,
Apart from that, the clients that we work with, they are also a whole new set of people. So this company would has given me a lot of exposure to a lot of different kind of people, how to handle people, how to convince people, how to mm, get work done, how to do your own work so that you can get all the problems, you can get rid of all the problems in a smooth manner. So
right.
people management is, I would, what I would call it.
It's all about people management. Got it. Got it. And Srishti, when you spoke about your organizational structure, you never spoke about sales team. You don't. You're the one who takes care of sales. You don't have a sales team.
No, I take care of it personally. Also, that we have a very small marketing team. There
Right.
are just two individuals who are there in the marketing team. We are just trying to develop that segment as of now, and I personally work with them
Got it.
because that is where we have to see how the company or how the name of the brand is coming out and how it is being portrayed to everyone. And that is where I spend also a lot of time, because I am very particular about it. I don't want to just put out anything on the internet or
Right.
on
Right.
the social media pages. I am very particular about it, what goes out.
Got it.
So,
And
and that is how we get most of our clients also, through marketing, and through they also help me out with the research and everything, the market research that we have to do, because in every few months or every quarter we have to do the market research from the very beginning.
right.
Because the market changes very frequently. It
Right.
fluctuates actually, kind of. The needs of the market changes, what is actually required changes. So this also can be a little challenging, because uh, every company faces this challenge that they fail to understand the requirements of their market, and they want to perform well in the market without
Right.
even understanding what the requirements or what the issues are. Until unless you'll be very familiar with the issues or the requirements, how can you expect yourself to perform well?
Correct. Correct.
And that is one of the biggest mistakes that most of the startups are making these days, that they fail to identify who they want to sell to, who they want to cater to. They fail
Right.
to understand that what the problems of their audience can be, of their potential clients or customers can be. And without even understanding that, they want to just bring out their service or bring out their product and sell. So that is not how it would work. You need to understand what your customer or what your client is expecting from you, and then you have to offer that.
Agreed. Agreed. Totally. I mean, I was talking to somebody about, learning the language that your client uses to address their
Yeah.
problems rather than
Hmm.
you having your jargons, which,
Exactly.
totally. Uh,
There is a different way how you would be communicating with a doctor and how you would be
yeah.
communicating with a lawyer. It's very different. You cannot
Correct.
speak the
Correct.
same language.
Yeah. Yeah. And you know what? Internally in your team, you might have different words for different things, but that
Hmm.
doesn't mean the client will understand all those words. So when you're
No.
talking to your clients, especially marketing, I think the key lies in connecting
Yeah.
with the problems and the exact words that your
Yeah, yeah,
clients
yeah.
use for a quick connection. Otherwise, you'll be a qualified company to help your clients, but they will not connect it because they don't know that the word you've used means the problem that they are facing.
Exactly, exactly. You need to identify what are the problems that they are facing and what solution you can give to that problem so that they should be using your services.
Right, right,
They definitely have a problem. It's just that you need to identify that problem and you need to speak their words in front of them.
right.
You need to, speak what they are thinking of actually. And that is what is the main element of market research. Market research just does not mean that you would be going online searching for stuff, looking up for everything. No, you would multiple times you would have to go to talk to some people who would be able to, who would be actually frustrated by that problem. Then you would be identifying that yes, this is the main problem, and yes, this is what I have to resolve.
Absolutely. And Srishti, Questa Learning is a remote company, totally remote company.
No, we have our office in New Delhi,
Okay.
and there are the managers and the HRs and everyone else, the QC team, they are working from the office only, and they are a team of 15 people, and I
Working
am the
from
16th.
office.
Yeah, I am the 16th one.
Got it. You also go to office or you work from home?
No, I go to office. I have to. Why would I? Why should I expect them to come if I am not going?
But why did you make the decision of office? Aren't you losing out on a lot of other talents across the country by not going remote?
The major, like, the staff that is working in the office are the people who are basically involved in management and everything.
Right.
Otherwise, so we are recruiting interns all across India.
Okay.
And we have, like, it's not just that we are working with a segment of people as our interns. We are also working with, masters, PhD students. We are also
Right.
working with
Right.
some uh, home tutors who cannot just, go out and,
Yeah. Yeah.
teach, or they cannot teach in schools. They might have been teaching in some schools or universities earlier, but now they are not. So they are also working with us. Then there are other people who is a school teacher but has gotten free by 3 p.m. Now they want to work. So since they are working from the comfort of their home, so that so they can do it then after school, or whatever, after their college, after teaching at the university.
Got it, Srishti. Um, just a few industry related questions, like facts and figures or something like that. What is the typical payment cycle that one can expect being a service provider like you from the clients? Is it 30 days, 45, 60?
Depends. payment only can be considered after the quality of your content has been checked.
Okay.
Okay. Now, the cycle varies from client to client depending
Okay.
upon how fast they can get it done, or maybe other factors that they are considering into. So, it is mostly 30 to 45 days.
30 to 45 days. Got it. And what's the usual profit margin that a company like you operates on? You need to pay out. Services industry is all about taking money here and giving it out. What's
Hmm.
the range of percentage of margin that gets the company going, or the profits?
See, it is very, very variable.
Okay.
It's not the same, and also it varies quite differently with different clients and with different content that we are creating. Now we are creating question textbook solutions also, and we are creating SEO articles also. So the amount of efforts that goes into both is very different, and the amount of pay that we are giving for both is also very different, right?
Right. Right.
The amount of quality checks and everything that goes into both is also very different. For example, if you're creating an article that has to be published online, you have to be very, very particular with everything. Sometimes there is a uh, sometimes there are like four checks that the content has to go through before going to the client,
Right.
and in textbook solutions it might be just two checks,
Right.
but for an article it goes through four checks. So
Right.
it varies very differently. Then again, on which vertical you are creating content for. If you're creating for JE, it is very different. If you're creating for the banking and SSC examinations, the government examinations, it is very different. Again, then when it comes to UPSC and CAT, they are very, very different, requires very, very different set of skilled people. So it varies very differently, and I cannot actually provide you with a proper figure that I can say yes, this is it.
Got
The
it. Got it.
variation is quite extreme.
Got it. And what domain is the highest paying, the cream domain amongst all these things that you said? It's the JEE, I believe, right?
See, I actually have not considered any domain to be the cream domain. This is the first time that I'm thinking about it, because whenever a project
No,
comes, whenever we have
I'm
taking
sure,
up any
for
project,
example,
hmm, we have to give our everything into it. We have to sometimes we have to even just completely change the type of training that we are giving. The training also completely gets rotated by 180-degree. No,
okay,
this is how we used to do it in that project. No, 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 this would not work over here. We'll have to do it in some other way. We'll have to figure out a new way.
right,
So every everything comes with its set of challenges and its new things that we have to explore to get that project to completion. And I have not thought any I actually all of them stand very equal to me. I cannot.
No, no, no. What I meant was, now let's say, for example, as somebody, who's into the services business, right? Now, look, I mean, I know that you're creating content and there is a lot of things apart from money. But you would also, when you have 100 hours with you, you won't want to spend 100 hours, which gives you the maximum return on investment, right? So I wanted to just check with you from that point of view. That's it. You must have probably, I thought you would have, analyzed, hey, you know what, let's give lesser importance to finding these projects and let's hunt down these kind of projects because they are the highest paying.
Actually, you know what is there is one thing that I do not I cannot just neglect, and this is the driving thing inside me. I always want to look up for new projects.
Got it, got it.
I want to explore. Like, if there would be two same kind of projects, okay, that is good, very good. We have previous experience in that. We have just done that. We have just completed the exact same kind of project. So now for this project, there would not be any kind of alteration that need to be done. Some minor ones, yes, but not very major alterations that need to be done.
Right,
But then, there is it is there that I think, okay, everything is managed, they can do it now, and I can relax. But then there is something inside of me, and I would like, no, 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 I want to look up for new projects. I want to look up for something different that we can explore. We are in the age where we can serve overseas also.
Correct. Yeah.
It's not that we are just dictated by boundaries, or the
Yeah.
boundaries
Yeah.
that we
Yeah.
physical boundaries. We can actually serve overseas also. So that is what my next uh, thing in mind is. That is what I'm working on next, to cater to the content needs of students overseas also. And we are working towards that. We are doing our market research in that domain right now, and we would be next jumping into that.
Awesome. Awesome, Srishti. Srishti, it was a pleasure talking to you. Very refreshing, because I see that you're just you. It's very different talking to somebody who's got 15 years of experience, and it's so different talking to somebody who's actually building that experience as we speak. It was very refreshing, and I hope a lot of interns get to watch this, and probably uh, you know 50K per month is not bad when you're studying. And your story in itself, you started off as an intern, but then right now you're running this Questa Learning company with over 15 people working from office, and then probably multiple hundreds of interns working for you from remote. So it's very inspiring. It was very inspiring talking to you, and I wish you all the very best. And I'll probably get back to you in a year or 6 months to see what other things that you've done, how you've grown and stuff. I'm
By then
already
I
excited.
would have I am also thinking of doing something where I can reach out the students individually, and I can help them from a closer perspective.
Got it.
So there are some ideas that I am brainstorming at the moment. I'm working on them. So definitely, when you'll get back in 6 months or a year, you'll get some new information.
Totally, Srishti. Thank you again.